Good day guys, T90 here. So today I will be reacting to a video made by Eugene Kun. So at the moment I have made a explanation already as one of my videos. I want to react on some things he says. He did a pretty good dive in, if I would say so myself. I want to make a deep explanation that I clearly did not do properly on my last video because I couldn't do it properly without being biased. So today I will be talking about the things he says and the things he mostly says about August. So this isn't a hate video, this is a reaction video, kind of just an explanation on the things I missed out. I wasn't able to explain properly, so give him a like and subscribe, and I'll also leave his link down below. There are also some comments that I want to feature here, so yeah. Thank you to this guy for making a video like this. I certainly needed it, because if I don't, I'm gonna be biased. I'm 100% gonna be biased. So let's start.
Argus has finally arrived on the official server, and Moonton claims it's a buff. However, many players argue it feels like a nerf, and I completely agree. He lost so much and got heavily weakened. Imagine being ahead by one item, but your power feels the same as your enemy. It's really disappointing, especially since I bought Argus's Star Wars skin after hearing about the upcoming buff on Argus. If I had known this would happen, I would have bought Alucard or Cyclops instead. I'm still not 100% sure if Argus is terrible now, maybe just 99%. Who knows, maybe we need to change how we play him. But let's be real, Argus has plenty of weaknesses, especially in team fights. Against heroes with high CC or mobility, he's basically helpless. His second...
Okay, let's pause it right there. I wanna clarify some things that I did not clarify on my last video. That mainly being, and yes, I do agree with him, this is a nerf. I do not feel this as a buff. Gameplay styles. I think gameplay styles will be changed a lot of this update. I truly hate this update. For number one, they did a lot of nerfs. I can only think of 4 buffs. Technically, they only did 4 buffs to August, while 8 or 9 of them are hidden nerfs that they did. I did a video back then where I also bashed on this. Until now, I'm still bashing it. It's absolutely bad. This update made me stop playing August as one of my main heroes, and I decided to become a top global ganger. One of the things he said was, August has a lot of weaknesses, which is 100% true. He has a lot of weaknesses back then. Until now, due to this update, he has even more weaknesses. As you saw from his intro, Xenon literally beaten August. Even in my gameplay, I always lose to Xenons now in the early game. For some reason, I lose. Before, I barely lose. I never lose to Xenons before. Now I lost to Xenon. You might argue that Xenon also got a buff, but even if Xenon gets a buff, August should still dominate. I think the old August would still dominate, unlike now. And a lot of counters. August has a lot of counters. This can be multi-stun heroes. This could be taunt heroes. This could be CC immunity heroes, or heroes that cannot be stunned, cannot be caught by August. Heroes with a lot of dash that can counter August. Speed can easily be taken off the question if the player that is using the August knows what he's doing. He can easily counter a hero with speed. The taunt wise, here it comes, guys. The taunt wise is hard to counter now. Back then we have Sea Halberd to use and Demon Hunter Sword to use against them. We still have those items, don't worry, but the new August now, it forces you to build 100% crit rate. If you do not have 100% crit rate, you cannot activate your passive. So they change his ult to where when you attack someone with your passive skill, which is Warmonger, So while your ult is active and you attack someone with your Warmonger and that does critical damage, you will able to use that again. And if you use it again and that does critical damage, you can use it again and again and again as long you are continuing to do critical damage with your Warmonger. It has to be done specifically on heroes. If you don't do it on heroes, you're gonna lose that fight in an instant because, well, you don't get Maris Energy Legion from attacking minions, towers, or summon creeps anymore. You have to do it on heroes. At the same time, there is a part where Demon Hunter Sword comes to play against tanky heroes. If you are taunted by the enemy heroes, could be Berenic or Gato, but let's focus on Gato. Since Berenic, you really don't need some Sea Halberd for that. For Gato, if you have Demon Hunter Sword and you don't have Sea Halberd, every time you attack Gato, Gato will just keep on using his passive, which also regens HP. So you are in a cycle of never-ending fight. You are gonna lose that fight and you are not gonna win that fight against Gato. I think that's the only thing I found out when I was using August, and the only thing he said that I don't think I mentioned from my last video.
Second skill's overall damage was reduced. This makes clearing minion waves harder and bursting enemies even more difficult. His passive no longer gains energy from turrets. This is a massive nerf because pushing was one of Argus's main strengths, and now that's gone. On top of that, the extra damage to jungle creeps was removed as well.
Okay, on that part where he said that extra damage to jungle creeps, I didn't know that existed. So they removed that. That's a small nerf right there. That's already a nerf. Secondly, pushing towers is gonna be a lot harder now due to the reason of build changes. You are no longer an attack speed August. You are a crit rate build August now because of this update. You are forced to do so. I mean, not really forced, but you are required to do so. To do not really good, but to do one of the best things out there as part of the new updates on August, because that is the new mechanic for August. You are the devs wants you to build crit rate August, not attack speed August. And the Maris Energy Legion on the tower. They removed that, making it very hard for August users to split push. Split push is a mechanic, no not mechanic, a tactic we all love to use as August users. We love to use it because if we are losing a team fight, we cannot win against team fight. We are gap in gold. What do? We split push. We split push to either win the game or get some gold and some EXP. That's why we split push. So that is a little harsh when it comes to that. And to the did he mention the damage? Yes, I think he mentioned the damage. The damage reduction with his second skill is very bad. Due to the reason of, number one, clearing lanes is very needed for August. Aggressiveness will also depend on each August users and the opponents. In the early game, back then, I am very aggressive. DSC as an example. I'm very aggressive against, let's say, Xilong. I'm aggressive against Xilong. Now I cannot be aggressive to Xilong because he can clear the lane faster than I can. While I can damage 3 minions, yes, but he has the capability to clear all 3 in an instant, very quickly, and very fast. Not only that, the damage reduction also ruins August's types of tactics. Hit and run tactics was meant to be quick and sneak before. Now you can use 2. This is not really a nerf. This is a contingency nerf, or not really contingency. It's a type of nerf that you can do to yourself by accident. It's a type of nerf where the hit and run tactic is a type of tactic where you hit someone with your first skill, pulling them under the coaster or stunning them, use your basic attack, passive basic attack, then second skill. So now with the new mechanic where your second skill will fill up your Maris energy, you have a chance to do another one. The problem is, there are some players out there, not all, there are some, who wants to use that as well. They're gonna get hit. they are 100% gonna get hit by the enemy skill. Unless you are fighting a hero or fighting a player that has no reflexes, then you might get away with it. But if you're fighting a hero that can petrify you, example, this can be Yuzong or Dairot, they're gonna destroy you in an instant in that fight. And back to the second skill change, the damage being reduced. That is very, very harsh for August, since that is one way for us to become more aggressive. You might be saying, hey, it gives you 2 stacks. You are able to use your Warmonger 2 times. Regardless of that, it does not matter if you can use it 2 times. I think they also removed the extra regen it gives, so that's a plus. I'm not too sure on that one, but I think one of the old patches, before they released this, one of the old patches saying that they removed the extra Magnus energy regen from that. I am not too sure, so on that part, please do not take my word for it. But I think they removed it. I certainly do not feel it anymore, and I was not able to feel it. That's for sure. Next up. Let's skip that.
When using his ultimate, the additional lifesteal is gone. You can't heal by using your second skill on minions or jungle creeps anymore. It only works on heroes now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other nerf they did. You can no longer gain lifesteal against minions, creeps, and summon creatures. Summon creatures can be Nightmare Spawns, Popo's Koopa, Vexana's Knight, and I'm forgetting something. Sun's Crown. I've mentioned this before, but I'm gonna mention it again. As August users, when we don't want to go home, what do? We ult on the minion, we ult on the creeps, we ult on the summon creatures. To just get all the lifesteals back, all our HP back, just returns in an instant because of it. Then removing that, we are forced to engage a fight we will never win and risk dying. We are forced to engage an enemy that we were never meant to win. If you're fighting a Yuzong, I think most players out there knows how painful Yuzong is. So if you engage a Yuzong, you cannot win a fight. Then for some reason he was able to time his petrify with your first skill, second version, and you cannot get away. You are done and you are a goner on that part. Unless you are able to get away. But what if you are far away from your tower? That's GG right there. You might be saying the 8 seconds ult can save August. No, it will not save August if the user knows what he's doing. As you saw even from the intro, his Zero literally beaten that August to a pulp, which is very, very harsh to see right now to my main, to most August users' main. Obviously, they call themselves August users. Their main is August, most likely. Most likely, I'm not saying 100%, but most likely they use August. That is very harsh because we like to do those things. Let's continue, shall we?
What about the supposed 4-second ultimate extension after taking fatal damage? It's not an actual extension. If you ult and take fatal damage 1 second later, it resets to 4.
I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna explain it. It's based on RNG. That seconds is based on RNG and is absolutely tremendously painful. You guys, I'm okay. I can't say it like that. That is very painful due to it being RNG. You cannot trust RNG in this game where random numbers are generated sometimes. That's what RNG meant. Random numbers generator. It's just not worth it to trust it. Trusting RNG. There is one time where I thought I activated my immortal form. Apparently, I did not activate it. I thought it was activated because my HP was like 0%, almost 0. It was 0.1%, and it didn't activate. So So when it disappeared, I was dead. Because I had all the confidence when I had that 8 seconds. But now without the 8 seconds, I'm... yeah, GG.
4 seconds, giving you a total of 5 seconds. To reach 8 seconds, you'd have to ult at full. If enemies run or CC you, the reset won't trigger, because the enemies will just run away when you use your ultimate. But I think Argus is now more for team fights rather than split pushing. His ultimate is great for tanking damage.
Practically, like one of his commenters said... Where is it? Oh yeah, mid shield. August is just a big mid shield now. I might go tank August. I might make a build just for a tank August. I might actually do that, guys. And you guys might hate me for it, but I might do it. Because this update really ticks me off for that reason. They nerf. One of the guys said was it this guy Snowy? There's 8 nerfs. He listed all 8 of them. Technically there's only 7. There's technically 9. Practically 9. I explain that later.
Argus lost so much, and the only big addition is the cooldown on his ultimate.
Okay. This part, I said that I will not get into details about his videos, but I want to clarify here that this is wrong. New should be up here, where the 60 seconds, 55 seconds, and 50 seconds are. All should be down here, at the moment wise. At this moment, there is August. Before this update ever happened, August's level 1 skill is 36 seconds, level 2 is 33 seconds, level 3 is 30 seconds. That is before this update ever became an update. Then over here on the old one he listed, that's supposed to be new. Because the new August right now has a cooldown of 60 seconds, gets half, it becomes 30 seconds. Level 2 is 55 seconds, it gets half, turns into 25-ish. Somewhere around those lines. Level 3 wise, I think it's 27.5. I'm gonna go with 27.5. No, I don't think it's 27.5. I don't know. I'm not gonna get too much into it. Over here, at level 3, is 50 seconds, which is right now. It gets half and becomes 25 seconds. Let me tell you what, that is still based on RNG. So, practically, you become a sitting duck. One of the guys said, I can't find his... where is his comment? There's one dude here that says he becomes a sitting duck. I can't find it. Never mind. Oh, I just read a very funny one. From my analysis, I think Munton didn't know how August players use August. Yes! Thank you! Thank you for mentioning that, because he is right. Muntun has no idea how August uses play. They have no idea. They just think, oh, this is gonna go great. They don't even watch the videos we make. They don't watch the videos where we break down this entire thing. They don't. They just do whatever they want. This is a buff for Muntun, but it costs at the price of a lot of nerfs. This is a buff with a lot of nerfs, which is not called a buff, it is called a nerf.
And yet Moonton labeled this as a buff?
Yeah. Like he said.
Really? If you don't receive fatal damage, the cooldown will be reduced by 50%. But if you use your ultimate when your HP is already very low, the cooldown will definitely be 100%. Some say the 8-second ultimate is great for tower locking, but that's unrealistic. You need...
Very unrealistic. Whoever said that right now, you can be mad at me for saying this at you, but what the hell were you thinking when you said that? He is not great for tower locking. Right now, he is not. You have an 8 seconds worth of ult timer. That's one thing. Technically, it's just 5 seconds or 4 seconds. You have minions pushing with you. The enemies kill the minions first. You get to the tower. You tower lock the tower. You will not be destroying the tower because you do not gain Mangi's energy from attacking towers. Mangi's energy, or aka Warmonger, is the passive skill that also ignores tower's defense. It ignores some part of the tower's defense. So without Warmonger, without his passive skill, because even if you ult, you do no damage to the tower because you do not have Warmonger. You might be thinking, can you just critically damage the turret? No, you cannot critically damage a turret. No, nobody's thinking that. I only wanted to say that, but nobody's thinking that. 100%, nobody thinks that. You cannot tower lock on the current August. You cannot even split push properly. Your teams have to do a 101 basic training of distracting teammates before you could push, before you could split push. Because it's absolutely torturous and takes so long to push without Warmonger activating every single time. Because Warmonger is a double hit. Not only just a double hit, it also ignores tower's defense. If I'm correct.
Perfect timing to get even close to 8 seconds. Plus, he no longer gains energy from turrets, making the extra duration almost pointless. Enemies can
RNG base. What he says is correct. RNG based skills are... He didn't say this, but he said about getting close to his ult. That's based on RNG, based on your luck, based on the timing, based on everything. That's just pain right there. And you can say 8 seconds, but technically it's just 5 to 4 seconds. You might be asking me why is it 8 seconds? Well, technically the 8 seconds, that's not... The first 4 seconds, or 3 seconds, does not save you from dying. It gives you an extra edge in fighting someone, but it does not save you from dying. The only time it saves you from dying when it activates the immortal form. That's the only part where you are truly immortal. So that's the only 4 seconds they have to wait when you are pushing. They have to wait 4 seconds. For all I know, they could have a lot of stunners that can counter August and they can just, well, stun you.
Easily clear the minions before you can push properly.
See? Even he says so.
I can't mention the good changes to Argus because I don't think there are any. Just comment below if you think there's something good about his update. He received some buffs, but do you think those are enough to make up for the nerfs he received? They say Argus had a high win rate, which is why Moonton made these changes. But we all know his high win rate is only because of his split pushing capability, and that only happens in lower ranks where players lack map awareness. Like this video if you also think Argus got nerfed rather than buffed. And if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe.
Okay. Oh yeah, you might be wondering why am I not subscribed. In this account, I try to avoid subscribing too much since I have like... How many? How many? There's more than this. I bet you. There's a lot of people I'm subscribed to. So I don't plan to subscribing to him. On my other channel I might, but not here. Not now. And one thing is, I don't think that happens only on low rank. It happens to players without map awareness, or they are being distracted by the team and they cannot go back home. That's the only time you can split push properly. I do not think that happens in low rank. That happens in every kind of rank, which is normally every kind of rank, like bronze, no not bronze, warrior, up to mythical immortal. If you have just that few guys that does not know how to check maps, it's game over. If the old August split push. So I'm gonna tear it down bit by bit on how, using Snowy's comment, I'm gonna break it down all the buffs and nerfs. No hero from non-hero units during ult. That's number 1. I agree that is number 1. Early game damage and sustain really low on the early game. It is already low back then. Now it's very low. it's much more lower than back then. That's number 2. I think that deserves number 2. Ito nga nga, 1 time old cooldown. 1 minute old cooldown. When the duration ends, oh no, there we go. You're sitting duck. It was him who commented it. That's 3. That's not my most second hated thing, that's for sure. But I think these two takes it. These two takes it why I hate it the most. Because I've used the very first time they revamped August on 2020 plus, I think. 2020 plus, somewhere around that. The first time they revamped August, the minute was 1 minute and 20 plus seconds. Or 1 minute and more seconds. I don't remember it because it was so long ago. Number 4, no damage as well. Low movement speed boost. Yeah, that should be separated. So that's 4 and 5. Low damage plus you also have a low movement speed boost. You cannot speed push. That's 6. That's 6 already. Skill 2 is useless on creeps. I think I agree with that one. That's 7. I don't really farm creeps. I barely farm creeps technically. So I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know that part. Passive damage is nerf. Yeah. Yes, it is actually kinda nerf. It is kinda nerf. And you need a lot of crit chance to just get it to be more useful. Now, without crit chance, you are just useless. Because they also remove, that's 8, I think. That's 8. So, besides that, there are also some other things he did not mention. Number 9 would be the change of tactics. You cannot be as aggressive as before because back then, August can go aggressive in the early game. Number 10 would be the change of builds. Builds will change. No matter how you say it, builds will 100% change, will turn into a critical build. And when I say critical build, I say full on critical build. 100% crit rate will be the thing what most players build. And let me tell you what, it takes so much gold and time to do that, and it is absolutely horrendous how painful it is. I know, I played 8 games right now with August, with the new one, with my personalized build. It is painful. It is painful. If you saw my last build, that you do not follow that build. If you saw my last video about August and you saw me going through my builds while doing it, please do not follow that build. That is a painful build to follow. Okay? Thank you. Because you build there with 2 wind talkers. You are forced to build 2 wind talkers for that extra movement speed. And to do extra attack speed and crit rate at the same time. Number 11, I don't think this one. Not that I think so, at least. Buffs, I think this is where it outweighs it a lot. So for me, that's at the moment 10 nerfs. Buffs, that's only 4. Or was it 3? I don't know. So let's then talk about the first few buffs, which is the second skill buff. They buff the second skill where if you hit an enemy, you can use your Warmonger and it will instantly fill up your Maris energy bar. So if you fill that up and you already have it filled up, you can use your Warmonger 2 times. 2 times, eh? 2 times. So that's 1 buff. Technically 1. The other one is ult. Note, I'm gonna put this as a 0.5 buff. It gives you a movement speed boost for 1 second. Just for 1 second. That's 0.5 of a buff. A second, you cannot do anything with a second. 2 seconds you might, but a second is not worth it. So that's a 0.5 of a buff. And the next one would be his ultimate being RNG based. Like I said, you should never trust RNG. I don't think RNG should be trusted, and I don't think RNG should be used properly. Because you cannot use RNG properly. You can only use it in the matchmaking. That's the only time you will use it properly. If it goes into your favor with the matchmaking, you get a good teammates, the enemy gets the bad teammates. That's the only time you get to use it properly. If you get the good teammates. His ultimate being an RNG based skill is not that good. Not not good. The explosion one, I think the explosion is absolutely pointless. The old explosion, that's not useful. That's absolutely pointless. I don't count that as a buff. I count that as nothing. It's just an adjustment. Because it does not do high damage. It does not give you much. It's just there for show at that point. That's number 3 is, I would say, the availability of him to activate his passive over and over and over and over again. That's 3. I think that's the only good part that they did. But once again, that is a RNG based thing and how much gold you accumulated by the end of the game. Because there are games where you are gapped and delayed. I think that's about it for me today, guys. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this small video reaction. I don't think it's small. I think it needs already 30 minutes at this point. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy, and please don't forget to like and subscribe on my channel and also to Yuji Kun's channel. Probably because he did a great job explaining. I only did a small deep dive, explaining on some parts, giving some other explanation, and talking about my thoughts about this. Please give him a huge credit because he definitely deserves it. Well, maybe only have 6K, but he does better content creation than the other YouTubers in the MLBB community. Certainly better than them. Not all. I think there are someone better than him, but I think he did a great job. Personally, he did a great job. I might take my updates from him from now on as well. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one.